Joe Manchin is a corporate Democrat. But what does that mean? We investigated his dealings with corporations over the past year. And it's more than just receiving corporate checks, though he gets a lot of those. Joe Manchin is more brazen and direct about the level of corporate corruption that he allows to influence him. Manchin executes policy decisions that corporations peddle to him, and nothing exemplifies that more than the way he's fought the Build Back Better bill for working families. For months, Manchin had a familiar refrain.
I've always said, if I can't go home and explain it, I can't vote for it.
Left unstated is the question, explain it to whom? We found that time and time again, at critical junctures during the debate over Build Back Better, Manchin attended corporate events in West Virginia and stood with executives to declare his opposition to working-class legislation, all while setting personal records for corporate fundraising. This summer, just as Congress was about to reconvene and advance the bill, Manchin threw up a giant roadblock. Manchin sat with fellow Republican Senator Shelley Moore Capito at an event at the West Virginia Chamber of Commerce and made a startling announcement.
And I'm saying for the first time, and I've thought about this long and hard, whether I would say that today or not, but I think this is the right place. Hit the pause button.
Who is that applauding? Let's look at the membership of the West Virginia Chamber. Coal companies Dominion and First Energy, and Mylan, the pharmaceutical firm where Manchin's daughter was CEO.
I know they're going to go nuts right now in Washington.
Here they come.
Let's look at the stage one more time. This is Steve Roberts, president of the West Virginia Chamber. Who is this person asking the questions? Not a journalist. That's Suzanne Clark, head of the U.S. Chamber, America's largest corporate lobby.
How would you describe the U.S. Chamber of Commerce's relationship with Congress?
Strong.
Clark announced that the U.S. Chamber would pay for a months-long radio, billboard, and TV ad campaign to support Manchin.
Thank you for loving West Virginia and putting us first.
Thank you, Senator, for what you do for us.
Another conservative group, run by Mike Pence's chief of staff, Mark Short, spent $400,000 per week on ads bolstering Manchin's position. Let's go back to the chamber event. Right as he made his pause button announcement on stage,
Hit the pause button.
Manchin had a column ready to be published in the corporate-friendly editorial pages of the Wall Street Journal. The Journal, meanwhile, has churned out a stream of near-daily editorials to laud Manchin and get his back. Manchin was happy to receive the accolades from the corporate class, but as soon as any Democrat dared to express even mild criticism about him, Manchin responded with crocodile tears. Manchin said he was upset at the White House for speaking to the media. The irony is that Manchin spent weeks leaking one story after another to Axios. One of those scoops was that Manchin had visited the offices of one of his corporate donors, Procter & Gamble, and revealed to executives that if Build Back Better got done at all, it wouldn't be until 2022, which has now been borne out. Manchin tried to blame Biden's team for his own veto of Build Back Better, even though Biden's staff had spent months going out of their way to placate him. Manchin repeatedly brought members of the Biden administration to West Virginia to boost his political standing, including Health Secretary Xavier Becerra, Veterans Affairs Secretary Dennis McDonough, Labor Secretary Marty Walsh, and Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm. Manchin even successfully lobbied the Biden administration to appoint his wife to a key role that affects West Virginia's economy. And Manchin won the ultimate prize when he convinced the White House to pass the infrastructure bill without a definite plan to also pass Build Back Better. For his victory lap, he went to a Toyota plant to stand with corporate executives. Despite the infusion of federal support, Toyota said no new jobs would be forthcoming. This is where Manchin decided to announce that he opposed incentives that would ensure the next generation of electric vehicles are union-made. Manchin told the anti-union Toyota execs that the Build Back Better labor provision would be wrong and un-American. Soon after, Manchin announced that he also opposed the ban on offshore drilling in Build Back Better. Manchin's largest donor in 2021 was an oil and gas pipeline company, Enterprise Products, where his son worked. Days earlier, Enterprise had announced that it was seeking approval to build the nation's first offshore oil terminal big enough to serve the largest class of supertankers. Finally, Manchin went on Fox News to declare the death of Build Back Better, and he did it with a familiar line.
I've always said this, Brett, if I can't go home and explain it to the people of West Virginia, I can't vote for it. And I cannot vote to continue with this piece of legislation. I just can't.